This Coca Bolo has been lurking in the back corner of our custom shop secret stock for quite a while now. We have a custom guitar to make. We're going to go ahead and start our project. Let's see what else we have for this. Welcome to Dave's World. Before we get too crazy looking at the Coca Bolo, I just want to check out this African mahogany. They're just two slabs I glued together, but they sound really good and they look really good. They're also really light. So the unique thing about this guitar is we're going to do our very first layer custom shop offset. It's going to be really loosely based off of a Jazzmaster, and we're really not going to have a lot in common with the original Fender offsets, but it's just going to be really loosely based off of those guitars, and I think this design will kind of just be sort of fun to do. I've always kind of liked the offsets, but I just thought that there's a few things that could be done differently, and well, we'll go ahead and do that. Is, you know, expensive and rare. This is a custom order, so our customer picked this piece specifically and wants to retain as much of that live edge as possible. So we are going to try and integrate that into the design. Everything has to be flat before you work on it. All white Limba neck and pretzel. It's our Limba special, which was, you know, of course, one of my favorites. Take our center line here and put our truss rod in. This Limba board will get glued on like that once our truss rod's in. That's a pretty big goal today, is to get that done and kind of let it set up for a while. The Coca Bolo is going to be interesting to glue onto our mahogany body. It does take a special glue, so I don't know how much we'll film of that, just because I've never actually done it before, but pretty prepared. But this will just be kind of a regular process. So with our super router, we have our truss rod all done. It's actually in so well, it's kind of hard to pull out, but these are tricky on the ends because of the bulkiness, but that's okay because my solid East Indian rosewood glue spreader. These lines, you can just draw these anywhere. It doesn't matter. Just kidding. It really matters. This is our scale length. It's going to be a 25.5-inch scale length. Standard, long scale electric guitar. The Jaguars were a shorter scale length, so the offsets are kind of just weird. We're not going to go too weird with this. It's kind of been like a guitar in my mind, like, oh, we'll do an offset that doesn't have a ton of switches. And you know, the standard scale length. It would be really cool. And it's not a Jazzmaster. So the layer custom offset is going to be... Oh. So we'll get these good and flat one last time before we glue them up. Then we'll run our edge across the joiner. It'll be a book match set, and we'll glue it on the top. So our live edge will be retained on our custom offset. Very cool. And I have all of these predetermined lines already done and our chambering. So just getting a special glue because it's so like naturally oily, but I'm not gonna have time to film, so we're just gonna go through with it. Yes, it's fantastic. We'll run it through our sander and get it totally flat. Book match, real cool. There is special glue holding this edge together because it's so fragile. You know, the guitar business has been pretty interesting. This guitar is so cool because our customers like, well, I want this wood and I want to retain the live edge, but for the most part, there's a lot of freedom in this build, which is kind of a lot of fun, let's be honest, direction we're going. But this guitar is just going to be something that I really, really sort of have a lot of fun with. So we'll continue. You can see how the wood oxidizes itself. Just on the edges, the sander started to hit. You can see how it kind of goes from being purple to like orange. It's real oily. So we are going to use a kind of stereotypical Nashville style bridge on this one. So it will get a neck angle. We're going to bypass that Jazzmaster style floating tremolo. But it will still have kind of a more like Gibson-ish sort of vibe with this. So our scale length is laid out. I have the neck angle, and I do have a spacer that I kept the bridge up on, and I checked the angle, so I'm pretty happy with that. I want to drill these holes and kind of get everything going, shape the body, but the main thing is going to be routing under here. I will feed the pickups through the back and it should work out really well. So now we're gonna do a 65 Strat C shape, kind of like a shallow C, but still sort of around, moderate C. Limba is very easy to carve. Very strong, but it's like mahogany. A bit of final sanding. Off to the spray shop. We return to my natural habitat, the spray shop. We're gonna keep on keeping on here, as always. Love our Binks 2100 series. Back when I was a kid, they used to have the Binks 2001. So that was when I was like 16. I don't even think you're supposed to, I don't even think I was allowed to spray at 16 in a shop. Isn't there rules? Well, there wasn't when I was doing it. I've never sprayed Cocobolo before, so I had a little bit of preparation work, some cabinet maker trickery, but we'll continue with our lacquer. Pretty cool stuff. In our pour filler here, we're going to use 3 different types of pour filler because there's 3 different types of wood. This goes into these mahogany pours really well, and we're going to end up tinting this ever so slightly, but this is like a nice kind of deep brown color. So I'm really passionate about sandpaper, and these pads I always used in cabinetry. The 320 sponge is pretty much the ultimate sanding tool for me. Here in Dave's world, doesn't get any better. This is just so I don't totally fry my brain, but at this point, let's face it, my brain's pretty fried already. top. But we are going to enhance this just slightly with some dyes, just a little bit, to kind of just go over the back of it and the top, just to make it a little bit more vibrant and kind of tinted. Same thing with our neck, this one being like stereotypical kind of limba. Along with this, it's cool, but it just needs a little bit of tint. Checking out our Groovy Offset here after really a few weeks. Took a while to lacquer this one. I kind of really took our time getting it right. This Cocobolo being so exotic, it kind of just takes a little extra time. Let's wind our pickups. Alnico 5. It's a little bit more powerful pickup. This is going to have a taller magnet than we normally do, just simply because of the anatomy of this guitar in general. But there'll be a flat pull piece, and still kind of within the traditional realm of really what I like as like a percussive kind of pickup that has a lot of really good tone. So we'll get these pressed in. I don't really need any like big hammer or anything. This just pretty much just pushes right in real easy. And it's real square because it's the drill press. Totally flat, totally square. 4 more. So we have them pressed in here. This I'll, glue them in with our super glue. Some people do, some people don't, but this really makes sure that they're super rigid and your pickup never like does this. And I don't know, not that it matters, I guess. I think the old Fender pickups were all like bent and stuff. But we fried our brains with this. So we're going to fry our brains again in the spray shop, because we'll just dip these in nitrocellulose lacquer to create a barrier between the magnets and the wire. Some people use tape, but I don't know. Out of all the expensive pickups I've really taken apart, which there's plenty, none of them ever use tape. They're always dipped in lacquer. I use a nice guitar string to soak these. I just roll them around. I don't want to reuse this lacquer at all, just because it's possibly contaminated because of like the super glue and stuff. So I'm not gonna like use this anymore. So I won't like fill it all the way up. And cleaned up the eyelets on here so they're ready for solder and wire. But we're gonna wrap our 42 gauge polyform var around here, and we're gonna do one pickup. Reverse wound, reverse polarity for hum canceling in the middle position. So we'll start this, and these will be a pretty high output pickup, but nothing, outrageous. Okay, that's pretty good. This is how the lady at Fender does it. She'll go left, swipe it a bunch of times, hit to the right, go all the way across, just do it again. And then she kind of like overlaps like that and then just starts it again. Everybody does it a little different, but we'll run our leads. This is the 9100 series pickup. A lot of people out tonight. It's a wild night in the city, Friday night. Now this one is reverse wound, reverse polarity. So this is the start. That's the finish. So the other one was right at like 7.1. So we'll just test this quick. So yeah, we got 6.94. So this is going to be a really good balanced set. Now we're magnetized. You'll see this is going to be south up, or polarity. And it is. We have the white one, and then this one will be black. See how it flipped? So this is magnetized, and now we'll wax pot them. So that's going to be it for our pickups today. We'll let these soak, and they'll be in their paraffin wax. Usually give them like, well, as long as we need until there's no bubbles. These sprayed fretboards just take a little extra time. Let's get car crazy as usual with our Meguiars. Already done it with our first step and our abrasive pad, which I'm loving. Who cares? So, in sideways, and honestly, I left like kind of like some acoustic guitar type bracing that it slides right under, so not too bad. Make this thing look a little bit more like a completed guitar. I've been jamming out on it the last couple of days, so we'll name it. It's the Groovy Offset. 6.6 nylon nut here with some 220. Then we'll really final sand it and get it really nice. I'm going to plug this guitar in once I get these final adjustments made. Do the intonation. This guitar is absolutely a total blast to play. Let's just see what it does. This is going to be a really unique one. There is just no other guitar in the world like this. Once again, getting our camera stand right. I do want to point out the BK Butler tube driver. Thank you, Peter M. That is too kind. But we are going through the Fillmore 50 watt with my normal settings. But you know how it goes. An offset in general, especially like a Jazzmaster, I would compare it more to a Jazzmaster because of the scale length. But, you know, I kind of forgot how easy it is to get up to the higher frets on one of these. So we'll have to look into the set necks on these at some point. But just still with the bolt-on neck and the really cool back. I just love it. I love without the arm contour. It feels fantastic. Let's hear this. I love the sustain. I love the string separation. I love the clarity, but I love the depth to the tone of it. Now the bridge pickup's always going to be my stereotypical, like, bitey, honky-tonk pickup, but it has to have character, and it has to have compression, natural compression. Just hit up this tube driver because it's got this Gary Rossington sort of thing where it just like adds Gary Rossington or any of that like vintage sort of snarl and bite, which is kind of what we want. The saturation, you can still has that like rock and roll warmth. Really awesome guitar. Love the vintage mustard case interior as well. We're going to take it to the gig. This won't be my gig, We're going to take it to the customer's gig. Let's go. So our Groovy Offset back there, it's our customer's guitar, and we're playing in his band, sitting in, but I'll be using that. I have our Mesa Boogie as usual. Need a tropical guitar. Money on my credit card. I need to buy myself some back. I don't want to rewrite. That's where I'll be. Smiling and eating the park inside the airport. Minding the places out there. It's beach weekend here at the campground. I mean, what more could you want? Stage is cool. Groovy Offset sounds fantastic. Great band. I've got a flight to stay somewhere. Close to body home. 20 degrees when the hockey game's on. Nobody cares if I'm on order, but I just want some paradise. Come on, feel my name,
It's Saturday. Is it? That's right. Is it? I've lost track. I don't. God bless Laura. She turns me around in the morning and goes.
Thanks a lot, Chris, for the great band. I appreciate it.
Thanks for hanging with us.
We'll go back to the shop, and he'll take this one home. Well, back from beach weekend, tremendous amount of fun. Sitting in with our customers' band, lot of fun. I really enjoyed playing just music in general, but to play with a new instrument, I never played with the steel drums before. I mean, I've never even shared the stage with an instrument like that, so that was really neat. Great musicians across the board. It was just an awesome time. Of course, Chris's wife ran the soundboard, and it sounded awesome. We'll be saving this piece of wood for her. So, well, of course, we won't be listing this one on Reverb, but really nice to deliver the guitar and get to play with the customer's band. It does happen on occasion where I get to sit in with the band. Really cool to play the music and setting up our shop. You know, it's been just about a year since we set up our official shop. I started winding our own pickups in that time. We've done a lot of really cool, like over-the-top custom guitars I'm very excited about. I think the set neck Telly and Strat styles are probably going to be the direction I really go, because I just love the anatomy of them and kind of how they feel. think maybe a set neck offset someday would be very neat. I think it'd have a lot of upper fret access, that's for sure. We have a box of goodies too. There's just so many great things and so many great customers. Just one more time, I do want to say thanks again to Chris, his band, everybody at the campground for having us. Also, Peter M. for the tube driver. That was an awesome addition to my rig and the Mesa Boogie. Also, do check out the description. I'll have the links in there for the Reverb store and whatever else. Thank you so much for visiting Dave's World.